Joining us now on the show on the happenings in America and this delayed result announcement, which is looking likely to take the legal route now. Sreeram Chaulia, foreign affairs expert, professor and dean at Jindal School of International Affairs, and Ashok Sajanhar, former diplomat. Let me go across to Sreeram Chaulia now. Sreeram Chaulia, are you also seeing this battle ending up in court?
Yeah, it's highly likely because I think Trump is not a good loser. I mean, it's just against his personality, and his base does not believe any of the institutions, the formal institutions in the US. So while there is no evidence historically of systematic or massive fraud ever in the US electoral process in modern times, I mean, it's unthinkable that the whole thing is fixed or that there's total foul play. But marginally, some of the recounts here and there, I think Republicans will still hope that they can somehow overturn what is looking like the writing on the wall. So I think they will resort to legal means. We have to actually prepare for a long haul. I mean, that's why, I mean, luckily the US has this transition period, and the next president does not need to come in until 20th January.
That's right.
So and I think the courts also, the whole issue of packing of the courts, the nomination of a Supreme Court judge just few days before the election by the Congress, all these were done with a very political objectives. I mean, there's nothing fair in politics. I mean, the way, especially since Trump has come in and the populist camp, is that there's no room for, trusting anything. So I think that bitterness towards the establishment, toward the system is very strong. So they will try to use the courts to try and overturn. If Biden wins, there's no guarantee that he will be allowed to become the president. So I think this, like you said, leaves a lot of doubt about the robustness of the U.S. democracy and U.S. institutions. Their prestige has taken a beating. I mean, unfortunately, it will benefit the Chinese because they will then go home saying look how disorganized and chaotic and divided this democracy is.
Okay. Sreeram Chaulia, I want to take a comment on the situation that is arising on the streets of US before I go into the Indian American factor as well, something that was much talked about this time. The fact is that there was so much anxiety in the run-up to the final day on the 3rd of November. Do you think that it would have been right for a message of calm to come right from the top from Donald Trump? Because largely it is his supporters that are being seen on the ground creating this chaos.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been ideal. But, given the kind of populism he represents, he cannot take a step back and adopt a kind of a moderate position here because, he's hanging on for his political life. And Trump, in fact, that's the reason his base is so loyal and so strong. We should not forget that even if he's declared the loser of this election, we're talking about 48, 49%. The same percentage of popular vote that he got last time in 2016.
That's right.
It's just the arithmetic of the electoral college system in some states may not have worked for him this time. So he still believes that he has got that massive support. So if it was a landslide, if it was a blue wave, I don't think he would be coming out and contesting and challenging it like this. But he knows that it's razor thin. The margins in Wisconsin, in Michigan, I mean, we're talking about less than 1 percentage point. So I think he believes he's a fighter. He's a political fighter. And you're right that it's tarnishing the reputation and the institutional and the social cohesion of the U.S. But that is how, he has stormed to power and has remained a major force. I mean, Time magazine is saying if Joe Biden wins and if he becomes president, he will be governing Donald Trump's America. So that's how much the country has changed despite this. Trump is a force to be reckoned with. And I think he's relying on that. He's got working class support again, but not as much as last time. He has gained some with the Latinos and the African Americans in some pockets. But overall, he has lost, especially white working men apparently have abandoned him by some numbers. So he's, I think, going to stick to his ground. But you're right. I mean, democracy works on conciliation, on acceptance and conceding defeat. But if that doesn't happen, and if it goes through the non-popular route of courts and legal challenges, ultimately, people's faith that their vote really counted will be really, really hurt. And I don't think they'll recover from it. It'll take a long time for this crisis to be overcome, this spiral.
Sreeram Chaulia and Ashok Sajjanhar, both of you, many thanks for joining us with your perspective on the US presidential election.